The fostering for change is very important. Sometimes we meet the right people, while some other times we meet the wrong and bad people. Hello everyone, welcome back to another segment. In today's episode, let's dive into our Chinese family based in China. For the time being, her African lady has been, colliding and also cooperating with a Chinese grandmama, and the family state has been moving so much high. For some persons, they were like, wow, how was she able, to collaborate, or how was she able to understand the language of the Chinese? Well, if where your heart is, your mind is, and where your heart is, it can do mighty and mighty wonders. That is the case of a African lady. Her mind has been made up and she found herself in the Chinese environment. And one thing that gives her, more upper hand, or should I say positivity, ranking up, is the fact that she met the right people who are ready, to take good care of her. What is the meaning of care? Someone will ask. Well, care comes in several ways. Care comes in the way, you welcome the person that brings to you as wife, the person or the soul that comes to your family. And most times many persons don't understand or don't understood the factors that comes in first visit or first encounter. First encounter matters a lot. When you encounter a new person, the way you welcome the person matters a lot, counts, and the way you treat the person matters a lot. That is why it is very important that first visit should be high rated in most culture and tradition. Even if the person, they know not, they welcome the person with a whole heart. That is the case of a African lady and a Chinese grandmama. A Chinese grandmama has been on the top notch. Just with the sight on looking at African lady, she loves her the most, and she loves her so dearly. She had respect for her son. She valued her son. It's only those that valued their son or brother that will be able to respect and also value their wife, so-called wife. Well, I say so-called wife because many persons has passed through change, and many persons are actually suffering from the hand of wicked in-laws all over the world. Apart from the first flash, you note that a African lady actually is brought up with a good character. What is the characteristic of a good character? Yes, a good character is that person, who is willing to do something, ostrich. When I say ostrich, it comes from the heart, it comes from the mind, and it comes from passion, compassion towards humanity. Are you the type that have heart in heart towards humanity? I just believe that one day it's actually up to you to change from that stone heart to very humanity, because it's very important. As a African lady seeing her Chinese grandmama, she felt compassion on her, and she used the eyes of her mother to look to her Chinese grandmama, and that made it more easier. She walked with her freely, she helped her day in, day out. She ensured they cooked together, do the cleaning, and also help out in the family development. Well, some persons would think that money counts on this particular state. Well, I would say that money is not everything. For some person would think that money is everything. Some would think, okay, they are giving her or a Chinese grandmama or the husband is lavishing her with a lot of money. But please and please, character counts and love counts, loyalty counts here, and sincerity, transparency counts here, and true love per se in quotes and I rated count most. It only takes true love, for someone to act in this kind of manner. It only takes true love for someone, to behave and also to do those things which are not hard, with a positive income, or should I say with a positive output of a African lady towards the family. You can see that our Chinese grandpapa is has been involved. If you check in our recent or in our first video, you see the attitude in which it was displayed. Our Chinese grandpapa wasn't always on show. He's actually beside, and As you can see, there's a lot and a lot of changes in the family. Actually, his grandpapa is beginning to love our African lady the more, not because of her heart's outcome or not because of her, her appearance, but because of her hard work, calmness, spirit of truth, and spirit of transparency. That is the great thing, ever in any human, can acquire. So certain factors should be considered, why we talk about the Chinese culture and tradition, because we have several males and many persons, want to go into the Chinese culture and tradition. One, in terms of marriage, and two, to dwell there. Many persons actually needs to create a picture pasture and a place where there is peace and sincerity. One thing that counts in marriage is transparency, sincerity. And we say it often: if you're not ready to get married, please withdraw back and be a man before forging ahead to get married. It's only those that are peaceful, it's only those that are calm, and it's only those that are willingly to help their woman, their wife, should be getting married. For those boys out there who tag themselves to be man, if you are not ready, to get married, please don't suffer people's children. Draw back and, allow those who are ready to carry those beautiful girls while you are there, thinking and counting your teeth. On this particular slide, you see that our African lady and our Chinese grandmama, actually, they are well running about, running together, and also being able to understand themselves perfectly. And you see that the relationship is moving from one dimension to another, not in a bad dimension, but in a very good dimension and a very developed and standard dimension. All right, we have here one comment coming as someone was saying that does it mean that our Chinese husband actually is not doing his part? Why not? As you can see, checking a recent video, he's doing perfectly well and trying his best, to do his part, and that, which is in according to his own state, there is a kind of not being exposed to women here, so he's just the good guy, not the bad guy. He's a good guy, and her mama's well trained, son. Someone that is being trained by the mom. You've been trained perfectly by the mom. You see a good character, and you see that they have respect for women. But those that are not being trained by their mom, there's a lot of damages they are causing to the society and to their even environments at large. Well, you can see that African lady husband actually has been well trained by his mom, and that made him to be so calm, peaceful, and so much understanding. It will just take a matter of time. You will see the good side of him. In fact, he has a good eye. You're going to see the real person he actually is, and that give her African lady more confidence and more peace and more joy that she has found a good family. She has found a family to be called ours, and she has found a peaceful home, that which she's praying and also hoping for. For so many persons, we can also be thinking about a good family or a good grand, should I say, yes, but they themselves, they have not even been good themselves. So one thing what we talk about when we come to talk about marriage, we want to say you first, you need to be prepared. If you're not prepared, you can't embark on anything called marriage. Okay, in the marriage ground, there is a lot of ups and downs. Well, you just have the grace to stand still and stand tall and keep forwarding and look focused and not be distracted. Where you can see that the both of them have done the special delicacy, and then this is well cute and well delicious. We're ready for them to serve for the men, and then you see how it looks like. She just can't even put your the sight of it. She have to have a glimpse on taste of it, and it was wow, so wonderful, so inviting, and that gives her Chinese grandmama so much joy and so much happiness that she love it, and they both have done a very good job. Wow, our Chinese grandmama is actually a perfect and a very nice chef. Well, they have to fetch ahead and go, towards to go, serve. You can see that her husband and also actually his grandpapa were in. They're actually in the vineyard working. So thus two lover birds have to prepare something cute for the man of the house. On arrival, they were so much happy, and in presentations by Jenny's grandmama, you have to see the greeting which they have done. This is so great. A special delicacy made from your wife, mama, and also is our wife. Let me call her our wife. So this is a great one, and this is a great joy. As you say, the family is so much happy. While the men are working in the field, the women are doing special delicacy. There's a cooperation, there's collaboration, there's transparency, and there is welcoming. Alright, for those thinking, okay, there is black, white, yellow, pink, whatever thing you are classifying, please, the world is just one, and that is the culture and tradition of the Chinese people. They believe that everybody is one. We are all one on this planet Earth. Just as you can see here, the family so much appreciates our African lady and love her the most. Alright, this is wrapping up to this episode. I hope you're enlightened onto this package. Please do stay tuned and stay blessed. And always remember, lovelies, stay cool for now. Bye for now.